Hello, everyone. I hope everybody had a really great New Year. I know um, it's been a very interesting period of time with where I'm from with regards to all of the pandemic-y type things and such. But um, Christmas was good. Christmas was really good, actually. Very glad to see uh, that a lot of things are working out well for a lot of people out there with regards to getting their streams going and so on and so forth. We're doing the same thing here. Um, for me, I got gifted a number of things. I got dice. I got some games on Roll20 to share with people, and I got a lot of downtime, and that was nice. So, but now we're back into it, and this week we're actually supposed to be getting ourselves set up for school. We kind of had our Christmas vacation extended for the students, not for the teachers, but for the students. And this is my downtime now between projects, if you will. So, huzzah, huzzah. Anyway, just getting into things today. So, what I'd started over the Christmas break, though, was getting some more people into the guild and getting some more games started up. So, I have desire to get these things on the road. And so we have a new DM coming into the WindyJ guild called Rogue. And Rogue is going to be playing a Dragon of Icefire Peak game. And so today, you can see my lovely little Dragon of Icefire Peak game here. I'm going to see what I can do about getting some things started for them for that game. You can see Rogue's already in there, given the DM status. And yeah, so what I'm going to be doing today, and you can share with me and join in with me, give me some thoughts and comments if you wanted to, and if you wanted to get involved, and you can of course jump in the Discord. This stream, I'm going to be trying to do these ritual casts a little bit more regularly as well. My intention is to is to see what I could do about getting a lot more of my world created, the world of Olivos created. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm also going to be setting up games for some of our players and DMs and setting up streams and kind of walking through the process how I do that. So I've already gone through the process of setting up Dragon of Icefire Peak for Rogue, but now we got to get them some players. So we're going to create a listing. And for those of you who have never done this kind of thing before, if you've never looked for players online, this is one of the ways you can do it. Is you can get into Roll20, create your own game, find a game like this as well. We're going to get Rogue to play with 4 players plus her, and so it's going to be a total of 5 players. And it is going to be something that she's going to do every week, she said to me. And I think we're just going to stick with voice only for this particular one. So people who want to play this game don't need to have their webcams on or anything like that. If they wanted to, they certainly can. But being as she's a new DM, we may as well allow her to have some fun with some new players if they wanted to as well. And so here's where we're going to get into it. This is now where I have to start creating some interesting content. And so what I would probably do, and I'm actually going to open up another tab here so I can pull out what one of my listings looked like for my other games and see if I can duplicate a lot of the things that I've done in, for example, my Witchlight game, which we start back up again tomorrow. Feel free to jump into the chat as we're going along here too, guys. I certainly don't mind saying hello. Let me know you're there. On that note, I'm actually going to make it easier so I can kind of see some. Let's see here. What all can I look at that I can, so I can see what all's going on out there in the world. Looking at my stats, things look okay. Getting all sorts of extra noises. Why not? There we go. Huzzah. All right, that's what we want. We want to be able to see this. And actually, I want us to be able to see that right under there. That's where I want to see things. Beauty. Hey, everything looks beautiful on my screen now. And everything makes sense. Okay, and so getting into this, my listing that I had here, I actually really liked how I wrote this one out, um, kind of giving a layout of what people should expect. And so I'm going to basically copy all of this and bring it over into my Dragon Icefire Peak and adjust it. So, and I'll kind of walk through how I do all this in a second too. So, this game will be played weekly on Discord, voice only for this game for Rogue, unless of course she tells me otherwise. It's also going to be played on Roll20 for the maps and the encounters. Her game's probably going to be a lot more combat. And again, Rogue gets to kind of change all of this up as she wants to. I'm just trying to set this up so it's easier for her to get going on it. But they are not playing the Wild Beyond Witchlight. They're playing Dragon of Icefire Peak, which is a really great one for new DMs to try out. New DMs, mostly because it's very modular. Every encounter, every scenario that they come across, it's going to be basically as a DM, you only have to worry about one thing um, at a time, one encounter at a time, and the storyline can happen however the players decide they want to do it. So there's not a lot of warning signs or anything to that effect, but they can do however they wish, which is really quite nice. There we go. And yeah, so it'll give us a good solid start on that. We'll start at level 1. It's not now my games are all in my homebrewed campaign setting, but this one is going to be start at level 1, and it is set in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting, namely in the community town of Phandalin. Phandalin's kind of a fairly well-known one. It was used in Lost Mines of Phandelver. It's used in obviously Dragon of Icefire Peak and all of the other campaigns that come after Dragon of Icefire Peak. And they will actually just go straight in. So the way I started my Witchlight campaign, I started by having I stole, I shouldn't say stole. I used a one-shot that came out of the Adventures Guild. And it was actually an Adventures Guild campaign, or Adventures Guild from the very first season, back in the Tyranny of Dragons series. It was originally set just outside the town of Flan. I moved it into my campaign setting. It was basically a goblin cave that they had to root out to save people, and they ended up saving a warlock that asked them for some extra help at Witchlight. So that's how that Witchlight game began. But for the Dragon of Icefire Peak, you basically just dive straight in. Your first session might be experiencing and experimenting with what Phandalin is and what all the town buildings are and such, and all NPCs that exist there. But that's pretty much it. And then you can get straight into the campaign right after that. Let's find Rogue. I had a lovely little chat here with Rogue, where she told me how long she wanted to do things and when she wanted to start. So she's going to say she wants hers on Saturdays. Sessions will occur every Saturday from 7 o'clock p.m. GM time. Okay, so there you go, just like that. Sessions will only be 3 hours long for her, she said, and may eventually end up being streamed on Twitch and other platforms. So in this case, right now I'm streaming out to Twitch, YouTube, Dailymotion, and we'll see how things go that way. I'd love to be able to see my let's see here, let's go like this. I want to see my restream chat. I'm using restream to get out to all of those different platforms. I do actually rather appreciate restream. It makes things a little bit easier when you're trying to get out to a variety of things. But at this point in time, because I'm looking at one thing and not the other, I don't always get a chance to see all of my stats. There we go. That's better stats. Okay. So the DM style. So in this case, Rogue is a new DM. So I gotta remind myself to keep talking when I'm doing these things. So Rogue is a new DM. She's going to try her hand out at DMing for the first time. She's been playing D&D for a while. She's going to be working with other DMs in the WindyJ D&D guild. So there will be some help if I need it, but I don't know if I want to say it that way. I want to say it like there we go. I'm joining a group of D&D players on the WindyJ. Oh, I can't say that. Why can't I type that? YJ D&D guild with other DMs as well. I'll be learning, but I have lots of resources to make the game as fun as possible for you and me. There we go. Our DMs work together to help everyone get a chance, or to give everyone a chance to explore their characters and try to link their backstories into the game. Encounters focus on the story first. Actually, in this particular case, because Witchlight is not a very encounter-heavy, battle-heavy campaign, not until you get well past the carnival, and we're certainly nowhere there yet. Well, I don't know. Witchlight, our characters might be there a little bit faster than they really ought to be, but hey. In Dragon of Icespire Peak, the encounters, they're not so much so the story first. As this is a published campaign, yeah, this is the point here. A lot of I've had some players in the past where they join in and they expect the campaign to be set for their characters, that they're a fighter, so they should be able to fight up in melee range all the time. And then I throw a manticore at them that doesn't want to stay nearby them, and they stay in flight because it's safer for them. They can attack easily with their spikes from theirs, and then they get frustrated at me. Well, you know what? When you're playing D&D, not every encounter is supposed to be easy. So in this case, I will leave this in here. It says encounters focus on the story first. Characters may have to face situations they weren't originally designed or prepared for. There we go. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so we can see this. There we go. That's better. And for example, a group of melee fighters battling a manticore that likes to stay in flight. But creative players can concoct creative solutions and treat such experiences as growth opportunities for their characters. We do offer a WindyJ guarantee, which is for all players in the guild, for all first-time players, or for all players in the guild. Which is within the first 3 sessions, you can make changes to your desired that you desire to your character, including completely getting rid of the character you created because you really dislike them. You can totally do that in our guild, and I'm game for that. You keep your base statistics. Wow, I was really bad at typing the last time. You keep your base statistics. and your original rolls for those base statistics, but you can change everything else out from that. And after those first 3 sessions, by that point in time, you should have a character that you can work with and get creative with. And so that's what we do. So players should be creative problem solvers, storytellers, role players. They should be considerate of everybody else in play as well. I've had some situations where I've had players become particularly selfish and want everything to be about their character. And then when suddenly I decide to open it up for other characters, it doesn't work out so well, because now that first person doesn't have all the focus the way they were hoping for, and that's not fun. That's not fun for everybody else. And so we want to make sure that everybody actually seeks out opportunities to work with the other players. And so considered everybody's there, accepting of the DM rulings, although, and helping me as I'm learning how to do so, or not helping, being patient with me as I'm learning how to do so, able to commit to the scheduled game times for long-term campaign, willing to use voice to play all sessions. We don't need video for this one, and is willing to commit to a character for long-term. And Dragon of Icefire Peak does last a little while. It'll last a good probably a year for this group, so that'll be nice. I will now give the setting, but this is not going to be in Roru. This is going to be in Phandalin. Phandalin is a frontier town in northwest Faerun. Nope, I gotta remember what the right code is. Faerun. There we go. 8 years ago, its nearby mine was recovered after having been lost to memory, having been lost to time. And the town is now beginning to prosper once again. This brings all sorts of unique characters to the community, to the area, both humanoid and not. There, that's a good start. Now this is not in Olivos, it's in Faerun, so we'll leave it there. And we're gonna leave it in Faerun, especially for new time DMs, because there's so many resources about Faerun out there. It'd be silly for us to not include or not have that there. Okay, to apply to play, here we go. You see the applications post below, including your answers. What's your previous experience? There isn't any required. None required. There we go. You can commit to 3-hour Saturday sessions at, she's asking for 7 o'clock p.m. GM time. Do you already have a Discord account, and are you comfortable with voice? Comfortable. Actually, we don't even care about that. If they have a Discord account, they can talk. A Discord account with a working microphone. Let's go with that. Because so the microphones can sometimes be challenges. The race, class, and background. What are you hoping to play? Kind of gives people a chance, gives Rogue a chance to try and pick the party dynamics as best as possible, and then giving a short paragraph backstory, knowing that Rogue might have to actually help them change it so that it fits the setting a little bit better. I guess the other part of this that I haven't put in here is what the resources are that they'll be able to use. So to apply to play, we got the DM style section here. Let's go into, actually let's put it right here after players should be. Usable resources. Source books. That's what we'll do, is source books. So in the WindyJ D&D Guild has access to the player's handbook, Xanthar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron of... Well, what is it? Tasha's Cauldron of everything, I think, isn't it? Oh, now I have to look that up. Oh, that's gonna bother me. What's it called? It is called... where is it? Why can't I find any of my... there we go, where it's... Source books. Oh, it's in character creation. That's in one of my character creation channels. I knew I had it somewhere intelligent. There we go. So, Tasha's Cauldron, yeah, Tasha's Cauldron of everything. So I'm not going completely crazy. Okay, good, good, good. We also have access to Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, Volo's Guide to Monsters. What else have I got in there? Oh, Fizzbands. Fizzbands. Oh, I can't spell Fizzbands. Oh, what's Fizzbands' full book? Treasury of Dragons, I think. Treasury of Dragons. That pretty much covers all of the source books that I think we have access to, and that's pretty exhaustive, actually, when it comes right down to it. Yeah, that works. Allowable races and classes are only those available in those books. I don't like that. That sounds very strange. If you don't know how to read English, then that's... Even if you do know how to read English, that was kind of strange. Only races and classes available in these source books will be acceptable for characters in our Dragon of Icespire Peak game. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now everybody knows exactly what to expect. Hello, hello. Welcome out there. For those just joining, the plan here for me today is to kind of help get some players out for one of our members of our WindyJ guild on Discord. And once I got that done, my hope is to spend a little bit of time getting some world creation happening. Got all of us ready to go, and that's the schedule for the stream, at least today. We'll see how things go. Feel free to say hello in the chat. I am now... Okay, so that's kind of set up for Rogue. But there's two other people here who have said that they are interested in being DMs in the guild as well. So I'm going to check out them real quick here. And for the trick to going through these, and this is everybody else. So I've got Rogue, who said, yes, I'd like to do this. I've got Nagisa, although Nagisa has kind of disappeared. I'm going to blame the holidays for that. So maybe they'll pop back in here soon enough. But nonetheless, I've got Puke Box and Dynamite and Trey, who've all applied, and I have 2 spots left. So as much as I want to be able to give it to everybody, I'm going to have to try and find the ones that I can help out the best and give the best resources to as well. And then later on this year, maybe offer it up to somebody else again as well. So the idea is that we're trying to increase the number of people who are streaming on this channel, and eventually, I mean, start off by having everybody learn D&D. D&D is an amazing game. It's so much fun. I was introduced to it over, I guess it's 2.5 years ago now, and I've just fallen into the rabbit hole that is D&D, and know that there are so many creative opportunities for people to explore themselves while playing the game, while also getting a little bit of an escape from reality. And let's be honest, there's a little bit of reality that we could all use a little bit of escape from. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, is trying to get everybody a chance to learn about this, learn how to do it, and then be able to share it with their family and friends if they wanted to as well. So spreading the D&D love, spreading the D&D love. Okay, so I have Pukebox here. So all of the requests, what I did is I put out a request for anybody who is interested in learning how to DM or learning how to stream their games, as the case may be. And so I put out some basic questions. Do you have the required materials? Do you have... oh, look, here's a... Oh, no, it's the same one. Uh, do you have experience with Roll20 or streaming software? Have you been a DM? And if you're not sure what you want to play, then I can always give some suggestions. But if they did know, then that's what we're going for. So Rogue answered and is now going to be doing a Dragon of Icefire Peak game. Peakbox has been doing Roll20, kind of unfamiliar with streaming, been trying to set up OBS for ages, so it sounds to me like they could try out, they might be interested in trying out streaming. They haven't been a DM before, but wanting to do some stuff for their IRL friends, which is fantastic. I love that. Which game from the list do you want to try out? If you're not sure, what level would you prefer to work with for your character? So they want to do Lost Mines of Delver or Icespire Peak. I really like giving DMs Icespire Peak, especially new DMs Icespire Peak, because it is a little bit more easily accessible and a lot more modular. But I also kind of enjoy Lost Mines of Delver because it's you do get a lot of an idea. You get a really great idea as to the traps and the dangers that can happen, and the immersion is really good in Lost Mines of Phandelver. The first encounter, you have to have to imagine yourself actually in the setting in order to be successful at it. And so, helping people to kind of get into that imagination mode, Lost Mines is really good for that. And are you wanting to stream? I'd consider it down the line, but for the first game, I'd prefer not to, and that totally makes sense. I'm not going to force everybody to stream right off the top. That doesn't, you kind of, if you're still learning how to DM, you got to get used to doing that first, and that makes sense to me. So Pukebox, really good applicant here. Let's have a look at Danomite. Has been on Roll20 for a year, has streamed on Twitch. That's cool, cool. Should have to look him up, I guess, afterwards. It's never been a DM, but wanted to commit to learn so he could help others learn D&D as well. Love this. Interested in some of the Tale of Yawning Portal stuff. That's cool because, again, Yawning Portal is also very modular. You can get away with just doing some short things. He wants to start a campaign from level 1 and keep a long-running campaign, though. And that's not really what Yawning Portals are. So maybe if he gets into this, we can guide him into one that would become a long-running campaign if we started him with Yawning Portal or something to that effect. So that's what I like Yawning Portal for, and as well as the Candlekeep Mysteries, is that they're really good at just kind of shoving into a campaign that already exists as kind of like a side quest. Or a one-shot. You can actually just use them as a one-shot to try to learn things and then go from there. If he really wants to do a long-term game, though, then using the Yawning Portal as a way of introducing the characters to each other is never a bad idea. It's actually a really cool idea to kind of get the party dynamics started, and then jump into the longer campaign after that. And there's lots of different longer campaigns that he can get into, or he can create his own if he's so inclined. He's newer to streaming. He's mainly streamed games from his PS5 onto Twitch, but he's open to everything. The cool thing about this is when we stream through WindyJ's guild, you don't have to know one platform versus the other, because we stream it out to it all. And so right now, out to Twitch, out to YouTube, out to Dailymotion, and you just do as you do. But trying to make it so that the streaming side of things is interesting, but not so challenging as to make it that you don't want to actually do it. Okay, so Dynamite's on there too, and Trey. Okay, all about a webcam, which you can easily get, or as I've learned, you can actually do some VTubing. I didn't know anything about VTubing before this Christmas holiday. Actually, that's not true. I knew it existed, but I didn't actually get it. So I think I get it now, and if I do get it, then yay. But it's a thing. I've actually created my own avatar now just because I wanted to see what it was like. Purple hair and very anime, but whatever. It's a thing. It's a thing. I may have to try it out somewhere along the way. I don't know if that's something I'm actually even going to get into, VTubing, and it's mostly because people have already seen my face, and I know that VTubers tend to do it to try to keep their identity in check, but I'm pretty good with how I look. I know I don't exactly have the most style out there, but And maybe that's what I'm going to do it for. It's just for stinks and giggles. When I want to have a day where I want to feel like an anime character, I might just put my VTube out, or my avatar up. But he doesn't need to have the webcam if he's got VTubing. He doesn't have to stream with his face on if he doesn't want to. He's DM'd and played on Roll20 for nearly 2 years now. Vaguely familiar with Streamlabs. I don't use Streamlabs. I find that Streamlabs likes to do... Well, that's not true. I use Streamlabs for certain purposes. I like OBS Original. I feel like I can do a lot more with it if I can get into the meat and potatoes of it, but I'm also a computer coder. I'm a programmer, and so I like to be able to see the back end of things. Streamlabs kind of skins a lot of what OBS does. That being said, there are some pretty cool features that Streamlabs does, such as if you follow me, then it's going to notify me right there on the up there somewhere, right where my logo is above my head up there. And so that'll be nice to be able to see that when that kind of thing happens and give you guys kudos when you do so. So I use those kinds of features, and I use them for the supporter stream at the end as well. But for the most part, it's all OBS that I use. So hopefully they'll be okay with the idea of getting into the idea of OBS. You also, so if you're not sure what level would you prefer to work with, not read many of the adventures that you listed, but I'm interested in Candlekeep and had planned on looking into it at some point. Now, Candlekeep's a really good one to introduce people to DMing because they're short adventures, and there's 16 of them, so you could really choose any level you want. As an example, I'm going to be playing Candlekeep with the family here, probably later on today if I'm lucky, and just doing one of the it's basically a one-shot, but I've been reading through it, and probably will actually take 2 sessions to actually get through it. So I don't know why they call it a one-shot when it actually takes longer than one to do, but so it's a 2-shot, but whatever. Nonetheless, though they're short, they're simple, and they're really accessible, especially with the way they've got it all set up on Roll20. I actually like how they've done that. So then when I play, if I had somebody try out Candlekeep, that gives them a taste for what DMing is like, and then they're also not stuck into a long-term campaign if they're not sure that this is something that they want to do. So that's kind of cool. So if you have any experience streaming, I'm really just more curious on what this is, as I've not seen anything like it on Roll20 before, but I have wanted to stream D&D. Cool. So now I have to try and figure out which 2 of these people to invite, because as it stands right now, I only have 2 spaces. And I'm not really sure how to do this, because they are all very great applicants, and now that I'm streaming this, I feel really bad about doing this live, but I do want this to be kind of a learning experience for them first, that they can take on to learning later on, or do as they want to later on, which makes me feel like and then I also want to make sure that I have kind of a spread out of the different games that we are playing as well. I guess the one that I keep on feeling concerned about is Dynamite, and it's unfortunate because I think he'd probably be really great for this. But if he's wanting to do a long-running campaign, well, you know what? No, this might be okay. He wants to learn, he wants to help others learn, and he wants to do a long-running campaign, and he could use Yawning Portal to kind of get started. So maybe that's something we do, is Dan and I can just talk about how he's going to make that happen and what kind of long-running campaign he wants to do. Trey, I think he's probably a pretty good fit as well. He wants to be able to stream. He's interested in short stuff. He has been a DM before, so he's really just interested in doing this to learn how to stream. And Pukebox is doing this because they want to learn how to be a DM, and he wants to do this for his IRL friends. Oh man, so challenging. So challenging to choose this. So here's what I'm going to end up doing. I guess I'm going to go for first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set something up here. I'm going to go back over here to the posting, to the game. I have one person who I allowed in and hasn't actually done anything. So I'm sorry, but if you're not going to do anything with us, then I have to make space for people. And so I'm going to go make some space for some people. And here we go. So let's see here. Let's start with let's go into this lovely spot here. Let's consider bringing in Rogue is already in, and Rogue's doing Dragon of Icespire Peak, which is awesome. You know what? I have to go with my gut, and currently my gut is saying that these first two people here, Pukebox and Dynamite, are going to be the ones. Trey, I want to give you space and time, and hopefully I can still do that without too much time. I'll keep you on my list of people that I'd like to be able to get involved, but I have to keep my capacity right too. I don't want to overwork myself trying to help everybody out too. So I'm going to invite Pukebox, and I'm going to invite Dynamite to the game as well. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to go and send them individual messages too. I like to try to, it's not just an invite to the game. I kind of like to say, hey, here, welcome. Thanks for considering. So I'm going to copy this because this is actually a simple thing that I've sent out to people before. So let's go back and send some stuff out to Pukebox and to... I suddenly... Pukebox, what a great name to make me have to say it online. A lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go to you, though. And let's also get to Dynamite, and we'll send you guys both messages. So, Pukebox. And then we'll go from there. Invitation to the WindyJ D&D Guild. I am not a robot, I promise you. It now believes me, although it's not letting me type anything. It's because I'm zoomed in too far. I have to unzoom. There we go. It's really weird how Roll20 doesn't let me actually have access to everything there. Let's zoom this in to where I actually want it. There we go. That's better. Hi, welcome to the Essentially the game at the invitation. It looks like you are interested. Oh, what was it they were interested in? They're the ones interested in Lost Mines. Yeah, so interested in playing Lost Mine of Phandelver, and I have some great resources for you to learn with. Looking forward to meeting you. Yeah, that's how we do these things. All right. Boof. Yeah, just make sure that I am a human being thing. Thank you very much, Roll20. I do appreciate you making sure that I'm not getting messages from random bots. That's one person. Let's go have a look for Dan. Dan's done a little bit of things on here. I love that. That's a brilliant image there. Marvelous. Okay. Hello, Dan. Let's do the same thing. Let's invitation to join the WindyJ D&D Guild. Oh, I have to do the zoom out again. When things don't work out. There we go. There we go. Now I can see the things again. We'll go back in here. Hi, welcome to the guild. You wanted to do... Oh, yes. You wanted to talk about... I don't need that open anymore. You wanted to talk about starting a long campaign. I know you want to eventually do a long campaign, and I think one of the short adventures in the Yawning Portal might be a really good jumping point for such a campaign, but we should still talk about what you want that campaign to be. Want that campaign to look like so I can support you. Shuk chunk chunk. Looking forward to meeting you. Blah. Love it. Okay, so I am not a robot today. And huzzah. Let's see how things go. Trey, later on in life, perhaps. Maybe not actually even all that far, depending on how quickly these other fellows get set up. I'm now going to switch gears here for myself. The ampersand signs, whatever. I think I'm going to switch gears a little bit now, and I'm going to go over to my world building things. Am I going to do that yet? Or do I need to think about maybe setting up a stream? No, we don't have to worry about a stream because Rogue is looking at getting some games going. So let's go like this. I'm going to do a quick response here to Rogue in my stream. You know what? Now that I'm looking at the time, I did not realize how quickly this morning has snuck by me, and I really am supposed to get to some work. Haha. So, with that, I guess that's where I'm going to pause for the day today. But before I do that, actually, I do want to check one thing out in my world. I am going to give myself one little tiny thing to switch around with. So, I've been creating this campaign setting called Olivos, and I like to use this tool called World Anvil. Other people like to make their own websites. Others like to use like a wiki or something to that effect. And I'm using this. It seems relatively straightforward and simple. I'm not even using the purchased version of it, but there's a lot in here, and so what I wanted to get into here, I've been working on a city in my setting, a capital city for a country called Wesmia, and I feel like I missed something, like I screwed it up when I first started it, and so I'm gonna go back to this city and find it. I gotta find it. Here we go. World Encyclopedia. No, that won't be in there. Sorry, it'll be in the atlas because it's a city. It's a location, so it's a settlement. Let's find you. Claymouth. So I had a lot of stuff in here for Claymouth already. Oh, look at all this stuff. But I feel like I screwed something up. So this is true. The geography is true. The architecture is largely true. The infrastructure, this is going to have to get adjusted. So and the defenses and the government. Actually, the government's pretty much true. There, the wards and the infrastructure. Those are the two things that I feel like I screwed up. So I'm not going to go for a quick edit. I need to actually do a proper edit. That's not I can't remember how to do the proper edit. They've changed things on me. Let's do this again. How do I edit this? How funny. Okay, I guess let's go to the manage. Maybe that's it. And oh, that's exactly what it was. It was letting me. They've done some changes to World Anvil. How beautiful. So we're looking for settlements. And in settlements, we're going to go to Claymouth, and we're going to edit this guy. There, that's familiar to me. So if I get into my sections, I think that's where all those other things are. Oh, no, there we go. I actually was just doing everything in the content. How marvelous. Okay, so the wards. This stuff I have to take off and put it someplace where other people can't see it because I got it wrong. It's not completed. Oh, why is my screen going all flippy? Hang on, let's see if we can solve that. That's ugly. Why is it doing that to us? Let's do this. No, not that. This thing. There we go. Okay. Oh, it really dislikes that. I don't know what I'm doing there that it dislikes so much, but it does. Let's see if I can get rid of... Oh, brutal. It just done did froze. That's all it is. Alright, well, let's try something different then. I love tech. You really, really, really do. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, well, apparently that's not going to work for me today, so apparently I'm supposed to stop. Alright, well, that was entertaining. Anyway, I'm going to try and get back into this when the technology is not giving me hassles. I think it's freaking out because it's the first day back that I've got this computer working since the holidays. Yeah, so that's that. But we're going to be back on the line tomorrow at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, or I think that's one. No, it's noon GM time. Playing Witchlight in Wesmia, and last that group left off, half of them were in the Feywild, the other half of them were still in the Witchlight Carnival. So things gonna get interesting there, I think. Anyway, y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all on the flip side.